Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle, and today I'm going to talk about how I homeschool prep for the week. This is a happy planner homeschool planner, and first I'm going to start the video talking about what I do to get everything together, and then I'm going to flip the camera around and show you exactly how I organize things in my planner and how I go about figuring out what we're doing in curriculum-wise. So the first thing obviously I get is my planner. The next thing I have is my erasable pens, and each of these has a specific color. This is important dates, reminders, appointments, so anything in this red is in my planner. This is general stuff I write down, and also chores for myself, meal planning. Pink represents my 5.5-year-old daughter's schoolwork. Purple represents my 9.5-year-old daughter's schoolwork, and blue represents our group work. So on top of that, I gather my kids' curriculum. The stuff will be going through the week. I showed in a previous video my daughter's schedule, so I can refer to that to make sure I grab the stuff. So right now, I'm gonna flip you around and show you how I do this. All right, as you can see, there are things already in my planner. I do this on Fridays when I meal plan. I put all the breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I just put our dinners. I also on top put my specific chores I want to concentrate on every day, and anything you see in red is obviously an appointment or a reminder, something I need to remember. So we will start with my 5.5-year-old. She is pink, and what I do is just write EC. So it's her first name and core work, and I will drag that all the way across because again, she has not a lot of work, nothing I need to heavily record. So the first thing, her core work is writing. So the first thing I looked at is her core knowledge skills. This is what I use for writing and phonics. So again, printed these off for you from the website. I see how many sheets she has, make sure she has enough to get through the next week. And she seems fine, so I don't think I will need to print any off for that. That's already taken care of. Next is her math, and what I do for that is in lessons. So I will see where we left off. So we left off in the workbook. So we left off in the workbook, which means I know the next one will be the textbook, but I know we are entering a new chapter. So we will actually start the week off by doing the chapter. Once my kids finish a chapter in dimensions, I always have them do the tests just to make sure they understood everything. So this will be chapter 11, addition and subtraction. I'll look to see how long that is. I will split that into 2 days just because it's a lot more questions. Usually she does a page or 2 a day. So I'll just write up here on Monday, and this is just a reminder for me that this is what she'll be doing Monday. And because it's tests, we're not going to be doing any of the books or the games recommended in that lesson. If there's one we haven't gotten to, or there is a book we haven't checked out yet, I will add it to the test. But we did everything, all the activities and the books for this already. So I'll make that. And then I have her doing 3 pages. So I'll just write Tuesday for that. So she'll do 1, 2, 3 pages for Tuesday, and that would bring her to chapter 12, which she won't do until we finish all of chapter 12. So that's Monday, Tuesday. And then I know we will go into the textbook for a lesson, so chapter 12. What I do for that is I will refer to here. And what I like about the teacher guides is you don't necessarily need them to teach lower levels, especially like kindergarten, but what I really like is it has all the extra activities, it also explains things really well, and it has some book recommendations with every chapter. So she'll be starting chapter 12, and it looks like it'll be numbers to 100. So again, this is the storybooks that I can check out from the library and see if there's anything we want to add. We like to do books a lot on Fridays. So this will be the opening lesson, and I just like to read this over to see what it is we're going to be learning about, how best to explain it. So what I really like about Dimensions is that the entire student book is pictured in the teacher guide, so it gives you exactly what you're going to be using. So again, I'll just read this over and see if there's any extension activities. Like here, she's going to start counting by tens, which she's familiar with, so I don't think that'll be difficult. So I will write Wednesday here because again, she'll finish the test booklet Monday, Tuesday. And I do like this extension activity here, which is counting by tens using the counting cubes. So I'll just write cubes and I write the page number just so I don't have to reread all of it again. If I forget the rules of the game or whatever, I can reference that. And then she will have her first lesson for that chapter in here. Again, it shows it right here. So I really like that it has like an opening activity and it tells you what to do in the book there, the teacher guide. And again, it has, this will be, I will do this opener and the first lesson on Wednesday because the opener doesn't take a lot of time, it's just an activity. And then we will do this part here. And again, all the instructions are in that teacher guide. And again, it gives you group activities. So looking over these activities, I'm not going to do any of them because again, she can count by tens pretty easily. So for Wednesday, besides the opening activity, we will not have any other activities. And you can see down here, it directs you to the workbook, which is this. So this will start Thursday. Again, I will look at the teacher guide, see if there's any of these activities I want to include. You'll notice on a lot of these, there's the Black Line Masters. These are things you can access in Singapore, and it will give you any of the stuff you need. So for example, we have some printed in back here, where it's just number bonds, different activities you can do, blank 10 frames, and it's sorted by chapter, so it's really easy to find. So for this, I think we will be doing the bean or bead counter, because again, I think she'll like that. So I just write bean and the page number. And that is Thursday. Again, that's only 2 pages, and then we go to Friday, which would be a lesson in the workbook. So that will be Friday, and I will write book here because we tend to do books on Friday instead of activities because Friday is our shorter day. So again, I will look in that teacher guide, pick out one of the books because by the end of weekly planning, I should have a list of books we will be doing. That is all I do for math prep. Now it might seem weird to read through all the lessons prior to teaching them, but I think that's kind of teacher lesson prep. You could totally open it and read and then teach, but for me, I like to know what we're doing and how best to approach it before actually teaching the lesson. I do this with my oldest as well. So that is her math. So next will be reading. So again, I just take her all about reading, see what lesson we are. This is the lesson we finished, which means we will be starting lesson 38. Now I've taught this with my oldest, so I'm very familiar, so I don't pre-read the lessons. I just do a quick look at what we'll be doing. She will get probably 3 lessons done while we're doing this. So I just look at everything, all the activity cards, because I've done this previously with my oldest, are already cut up, everything's ready to go, and it's in a file folder labeled by the lesson date, so I just pull it up as we go. So those are her 3 main things that I get ready. The other thing that we will be doing is we started core knowledge grade 1, listening and learning strand. So I will just add that in here. So that is everything we will be doing for my 5.5-year-old. She'll of course join us for group work, but that's everything I need to label for her. Now, moving on to my oldest. And again, all I write here is my oldest first initial and core work. So I know what those things are by this time of year. The first thing she will do is, and I reference the schedule I made her. So for math, again, we will start with, I don't write any of this down because she obviously has her own schedule. So the first thing I will have to do is math. So because it's the beginning of the school year, we are doing review from last year. So she will do test A on Monday, and this just covers everything we've already talked about. So there's no additional books or activities that go with that. That'll be Monday. Test B will be Tuesday. And then year-end assessment will be Wednesday. One of the reasons I do label this is so she can open it up and know what day she is on. I also have a bookmark at all times there, but in case she wants to get started early. Now, the year-end assessment looks pretty long, so I'm gonna break it up, do 5 pages, and then we'll start, wrong thing. Again, my oldest is purple, so that'll be Thursday. So it'll be Thursday, and then Friday she will finish test B. Because we have less work that day, I think she'll be able to accomplish the end of the review for test B. So this is covering everything we learned. So hers is a little different. Usually I will go through and just like my younger daughter, go through, read the lessons, pick out activities or books that we will need, just so I'm prepared to teach for the following week. But because this is a review week, we don't have any additional books or activities, which makes it pretty easy to plan and prep math this week. So the only thing she'll really be working on is finishing review this week. All right, so going back to hers, next is math facts. Again, I don't have to look that over. It's just her booklets that she practices her math, multiplication, division facts. Health is something I briefly look over. For health, we are using the hardcourt. This is grade 4. All I do is put little post-it tabs for the chapter that she will be doing next. So she'll be doing all of this reading independently until here, and then we will just go over the review questions. Again, I don't pre-read this, something she does independently. Review questions are pretty obvious. Now for vocab, as you can see, that would be the next one here. She goes between this and the Sadler vocab. She's currently on Sadler vocab. So this is the unit she'll be starting with. So she'll read this on Monday. This is just the definitions for the words she'll be covering. And then it's pretty easy. This will be Monday. This will be Tuesday. I will write it on here because again, she does this independently. So this is all of Tuesday. This will be Wednesday. This will be Thursday. And then this will be Friday. So she'll do both of these. And that is all she will be doing for vocab, and it's labeled so she knows what's expected of her. Next is IEW. So IEW is super easy to prep because I don't technically teach it. All I do is I take out the next pile of work she'll be doing. So everything for week 18 here. Now this has her assignments and daily schedule on it. Again, nothing I have to do, her source text. And her checklist when she does her final draft. So all I do, I have scrap paper here, and this works better than just having a notebook because again, finished work goes in this tab behind here, so it makes more sense to have scrap paper than an actual notebook. So I just stick that in here, and that's all I have to do for IEW prep, which is awesome. All right, so next, we're gonna do group work all together, so I'm just gonna do the top half per schedule. So all about spelling would be the next thing I haven't covered. Again, not a lot of prep here. I just quickly read over the lesson. She does 2 lessons a week, pretty short, and make sure I understand what we're teaching, because let's be honest, I forgot a lot of the grammar rules and spelling rules that exist. So that's what she'll be doing for spelling. I don't have to do anything for that. Michael Clay Thompson, all I have to do for that is we're doing Practice Island. She does 2 sentence analysis a week, and then we also read a little bit out of Building Language. Building Language is a ebook that we're working through, so I don't have to do anything for that. I just have it bookmarked on our tablet where we are. So she is here. She's doing sentence analysis for 7 and 8. Again, she'll write the parts of speech, parts of a sentence. Is it a simple compound? Does it have a prepositional phrase? She knows the order of this because she's done it so much, and that's kind of what Grammar Island prepares you for. I don't have to make any notes on that, but what I will do is copy these 7 and 8 because Michael Clay Thompson is an expensive program, so the more uses I can get out of it, the better. So I just make copies of this and stick them in here. All right, so I just finished copying that, and again, this will be, let's see, she does Michael Clay Thompson Wednesday and Friday. So this will be Wednesday, this will be Friday. Again, she will pick this up when she gets to it in her schedule. She does it independently, fills it out independently. If I'm busy, she can even check it with the teacher guide if she needs to, but I will just stick this in the front. Again, I do have some notes if she has to refer back to them in the front as well. But that is everything for Michael Clay Thompson. So that takes care of everything on there besides group work. So again, that is her core work. Everything is prepped and ready to go. Next, we will be doing Torchlight, and that is our blue. All I write in my planner for that is Torchlight. And by the end of the year, I get even lazier and I just write T because I know what it means. But these are our group subjects. And the only other thing added is Fridays we have core knowledge science. So that is what it looks like. I don't specifically fill out anything for Torchlight because Torchlight has its own schedule in here. So eventually I will fill out or make a video on how I organize Torchlight, but again, here it is. What I have to do for this is I have a tab for current lesson, I have lit primers, and then back here I have everything for history. So what I have to do is I have to take the current lesson out because we finished this. It's no longer the current lesson. I do keep these in a separate folder when we are done, so again, I will not have to print them off again if we cycle through back again with my younger children. Now, as you can see here, there are already things marked off when I do my Sabbath scheduling, when we have that 6 weeks on, 1 week off. When I do the 1 week off, I prep for the next 6 weeks for history, science, Torchlight. Everything is already pre-prepped in that week off, so it's just going through. As you can see here, there are things we don't do. We don't do the spell book. We don't do the writing language arts. And there are some art and music we don't do that I didn't find helpful, and there are also, we don't do the science. So we do different sections that we like. Also down here, you can see I put a library, books, what I need to get. If there's a check mark, it means I already ordered it from the library. And that is done for every single week for our 6 weeks. As you can see, I already wrote down what library book I will need to get, because one of the nice things about Torchlight is being able to use the library as a resource to kind of cut down on book costs. So that is done. I can take that off. So I will just look at what we're doing. This is our read aloud, which is going really well. So this is our read aloud we're currently going through. And again, we do that right before bed. So we do a 7 p.m. read aloud with my kids, and that makes it easier. You don't have to prep anything for that. And then I have some reading to do as well. So this labels what I have to read, and it goes specific into what I have to read for that. So you can see here, it tells me exactly what I have to read, and there are some practicing that my kids will start doing that. So I will just make a note on my planner that I need to read Shakespeare, chapter 4, and then the kids will be doing some practice along with that. And that's just a reminder for me under the assignments. Go back to that. So that takes care of this full roll up here. Next for Monday would be Curiosity Chronicles Early Modern. And again, we do the audiobook for this. My kids do like to follow along, and the pictures are really nice, but to give you an idea of what they're reading, so it's this, and again, it's in dialogue format. And then there's a culture corner that specifically talks about art or literature during that time period and focuses on a specific person or thing we're talking about, like a book. So that's the culture corner. So that is all that is required for history, but what I did do is I bought the activity guide that goes with it. So again, this was already taken care of and organized in that week off. So everything is good to go. So we are in section 2. So again, this comes from the activity guide, or the teacher's guide, I believe. So all we do for this is we go over the comprehension questions, the critical thinking questions, and then there is an activity for section 2. Now keep in mind, section 2 will be these two, chapter 3 and chapter 4 in Curiosity Chronicles will cover section 2. So we will read for chapter 3, obviously, read it, comprehension questions, critical thinking questions, and then there is a hands-on activity. So we'll be playing a game using this. Again, this is included in the, I believe, activity guide. And then I also print the coloring pages that go with that specific chapter, because especially my 5.5-year-old really likes to color the pages. Again, we have chapter 4 here. All I use from this is comprehension, the critical thinking questions, and I print off the coloring pages. So this section 3 will be all next week. So again, all of this is already prepped and ready for me to go, and it makes my life so much easier taking that little bit of time. What I will write for here, I will look at the 2 days we have history, Monday and Wednesday. So it looks like we have less to do on Wednesday, so that is when we will do the activity page. So I will just write that in there to remind myself of that. So that takes care of history. Next is Fantastic Failures. So again, this is just reading a couple pages. It looks like we will be reading about Robbie Novak. So I will put a bookmark there, and again, only reading a couple pages. It's not too bad. So no prep in that. Women in Art, again, we'll just be reading a page out of that. That's a library book. When on Earth, a couple pages on that. I already wrote the activity for that. I know I have that comprehension questions. This is a library book that we'll be reading. Already, again, have that checked out, waiting to go. Toys, we will start that. So I will again just bookmark and do a couple pages. So I will bookmark that and see what we're learning about. I do know that there is a book of innovations that we'll be doing for this. So again, I can flip to the other section and it labels everything that needs to get done. If that's more like how you like to check it off, make sure you did everything. Obviously, I go through and check off things we don't use. But for the Book of Innovation, week 2, I will show you a quick scroll of that. But this pretty much just goes over how they are becoming an innovator. So they'll be making a game this week. So that takes care of Thursday, and then Friday we'll be doing those 2 things. And then we have a paint lamp. Again, I use this as an ebook. It's just a quick painting exercise we do. One thing I do add to that is some hardcore art. I feel like this teaches really good how to paint, but it doesn't teach the foundations of art. So again, I will just use the same sticky tabs, mark one lesson that we'll be doing. So it looks like we'll be going over this, and then we'll be talking about patterns and color, and then we'll be making an art project out of that. So because Friday's a lighter day, we only have a little bit of Shakespeare read aloud, and that'll come at the end of the day. We have art. So I do double up art. And I do add it into my planner here as well, that we kind of double up the art there. And that is everything from Torchlight. I will also quickly look at the very back to see if there was any extensions that I looked into that I thought would be good. And again, I did that with that week off. So you can see here, I marked this. There's a TED Ed talk that we'll be watching. So again, I will put that on Friday with a star, just so I don't forget to look at that extension activity. So that is all of Torchlight, completely done for the week. The only other thing I have to get ready is science. And again, like many of the other things, I prep that in advance. So for core knowledge, you can print off these sheets real quick, and I went through and I did a little quick what every lesson will be about, if there's any specific supplies I need. So we finished these, so I know this will be Thursday, this will be Friday. We finished 2 units every week. So we're gonna be talking about body control. We'll just be reading the chapter, going over the questions. If there's any, for example, chapter 6, this was the this was the printable that goes with it, so I printed that off. I have the kids' readers loaded onto their tablet. I have the teacher guide loaded onto my Samsung Galaxy tablet where I can write notes and everything on it. That is all done. I know we will be doing a sticker activity for that, which is in here. Same thing, Friday. We're gonna be studying a specific medical job, so we'll be talking about that. There's a YouTube video linked through core knowledge that's saved to my YouTube feed for human body. And then I will be getting from the library a cyborg hand that you can create, that you can check out for free. So I will add that to my library book list to get. Probably will be there Monday or Tuesday to get those things, because this will be for Friday, and that will be kind of our experiment. And that will be for science. So as you can see, that is everything for the week for my K through 1st grader and my 4th grader. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If not, thank you for watching.